Okay. I'm Mr. Scanlon. Hello. Good morning. I oversee ISTEP testing. What I would like to tell you that ISTEP testing is probably the most important test you take, because this isn't a test from Westfield High School. This is a test from the Indiana Department of Education saying every student needs to pass it. Okay? At the same time, we have other opportunities in case there's not an opportunity to pass this. Okay? So we're going to talk about the testing. Everybody here is going to test. We're going to test for English, we're going to test the week after Thanksgiving. For math, we're going to test the week after that. If there is anybody that's like, I don't know if I test math, I don't know if I test English, I'm not sure if I have to test both, please come find me. We sent emails through Naviance, but I want to make sure everybody knows what's going on. Okay? So, we're going to go over this. It'll probably take about 20-25 minutes. Then we're going to get you back to your class so you get instructional time. Okay? So just bear with me. If we can do this, the sooner we get done, the sooner you roll out. Okay? All right, like I said, the DOE makes sure all seniors and juniors that have not passed this test must test in the winter. There may be other options in the spring, but right now, everyone that has not passed ISTEP is going to take it in the winter. And we'll get you tested. Okay? We're going to... Oh. Now, some people last year, when they were testing ISTEP or retesting ISTEP, it's like, I got to get back to class. I'm losing instructional time. We have built a schedule right now that you will not lose instructional time. So when you're testing, the people in your class are going to do supplemental activities. You know, they might go over things they missed. They might get stretched out over that, but there'll be no assessments, there'll be no tests, there'll be no assignments that you're missing. This test is that important that we want you to kind of go, I have to focus on the test, and I'll get back to it. I'll get back to my class. Because every time you test, let's say you test English, you're going to be in the testing window, and then you're going to start period 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like everybody else. Okay? And that's when the instructional time goes. Because I know there were some people, some of the seniors that didn't pass were like, Scanlon, I need to get back to econ. I need to get back to government. They are doing other things that don't affect you right now, and then you're going to get back into the class, and that's the instructional time. And I'm sure your parents are like, you know what? I don't want them to test because we're missing class time. You will not miss class time. We've talked to the teachers about it. Okay? The testing window. Okay? At the very beginning of the day, you're going to show up for your testing window things. And we will have posters starting next Monday for English saying A to maybe BL, show up to room 22, whatever. Okay? The English classes, honestly, are downstairs in the gold wing. The math classes, on the next week, we're going upstairs in the gold wing and 2 other classrooms. Okay? Those are for the kids that are just testing regular time. For special ed students to get accommodations, for 504 kids to get accommodations, for English language learners to get accommodations. We will be testing you in computer labs, so you might go a little bit above, but we'll get you passes to go. Okay? And we've told the teachers, you know, don't make them miss a lot of things. But this will be the ISTEP window. Now, the one difference, there's going to be one day that everybody shows up a little bit late. I better keep by the mic. Is that Wednesday for English testing, because we're testing 5 days of English. And you know how Wednesday we start late. We start at 8:30. We're going to start at 8:30 and test, and you're going to go midway in the first period. So we've already talked to the teachers saying, hey, Let's make sure that we know that, okay? But they'll test, and then after you test, you're going to go to first period, and you're going to get the same information of the students that didn't test, okay? Testing dates. The Monday after we get back from Thanksgiving break, we're going to start with English, okay? We'll do a practice test. All of these should fall within the window, so you might even be in that classroom for a while before. We've tried to create a schedule that you'll test, and then you might have to sit there. You might be a little bit bored. I'm not gonna lie to you. You might be a little bit bored, but then you go to first period. What'll happen with the kids that aren't testing is the first day, they go to first period for supplemental activities. On Tuesday, they go to second period for supplemental activities. So you will not miss instructional time. That's what we want to make sure that you know. I want you to focus on this test and say, this test is the most important test because it's from the state of Indiana and it's a diploma. So I don't want you worrying about what am I missing in, government. What am I missing in U.S. history? You're not missing anything. We talked to the teachers and said, absolutely not. You can help other students. Maybe they didn't do well on a test and you got to remediate people. That's fine. Maybe they're doing great and you're like, okay, let's try that. That's fine. But you will not have those assignments. You will not have those assessments, and they will not grade those students' assessments either. So you are on the same playing field, okay? Good thing about this is with English and with math, before you came and you saw like a stranger like me or another administrator and you're like, oh my God, why do I have to test with the administrator? We will have English and math teachers proctoring this. Might not be your English teacher, might not be your math teacher, but there will be that. So we've talked with them and they're like, yeah, we want to do it. You guys will be in classrooms with Chromebooks. Okay, instead of the art lab and this lab and this lab and this lab, and it gets kind of crazy, we're getting mobile labs to all of those, so you'll be able to move and work. Anybody with accommodations, let's say special ed might be or 504s, you'll probably be in that 1430 and 2430 classroom. And then with our English language learners, you'll probably be in the art lab right over there, way over in the corner. But we have the numbers that we can supply that and give you guys extended time. Okay. Dates for math is a week right after. Okay. If you have to test math, and again, if you don't know if you have to test English or math, come find me. I'll tell you. We send emails out through Naviance, but we want to be as clear as possible so you're ready to go. The math posters saying where to report to will probably be going up as we're testing English because I don't want any confusion about it. Okay, so you'll test. And on the Wednesday that we have late start, we will not test for math on Wednesday. So it will be a typical day. And we'll have plus time and all that good stuff, and then we'll go our merry way. What if I don't pass? Okay, there's two different things if you don't pass, because everybody's like, oh my gosh, what if I don't pass? Because the state says I gotta pass. We have a waiver process that we've always had, okay? So the waiver's like, okay, if you do this, and this, you will get your diploma. And the next question is, if I'm a waiver kid, is there a sticker that says I'm a waiver kid because I'm applying to college? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. If you do what you need to do, you're taking care of business. Okay? And there's a new thing that we're still investigating, and we're still working with the administrative team and the counselors, that we're going to go person to person about graduation pathways. Okay? I say okay too much. I just said that in my head, sorry. The waiver process. One is, you got to get your credits for diploma. If you don't get your credits for diploma, We can't even start with the waiver process, correct? Second, is it 90%? Might be 95% total attendance. But the thing is, it doesn't matter if it's medical, it doesn't matter if it's excused. If your parents called you in, that doesn't count. It's the unexcused and the truancies that count. So if you got a whole bunch of unexcused absences, or if you decided just to take a day off and your parents were like, no, and you took 30 days off, that might be an issue. I can't see anybody in this auditorium having a problem with that. Okay? We have never had a kid going up on a waiver process that was an issue. Because, you know what, if your kid calls you in, if your parent calls you in and says, hey, Kevin's sick, it doesn't count against me. Then, you gotta take the test at least once a year. We usually make it twice a year. Okay? Then 70% of grad point. A lot of you juniors, I know somebody's trying to do a water drop, so if you please stop. But 70% of the juniors, a lot of people, the juniors, sorry, I got mixed up, heard about grad point. Okay? Says you must complete 70%. It's not 70% before we start testing after Thanksgiving. It's 70% before we get you into the waiver process. So when we do that, that means that we'd like you to start. It's like car insurance. Hopefully you'll pass. It's like car insurance. Hopefully I'll drive and never have an accident, but I have it. Hopefully you'll pass and you never have to use it. Okay? But if you need to, after this test, and the scores will come back mid-January, we're going to make sure that you're starting on the ball to get going. Because that is probably the biggest thing that's kept people out of waivers. Okay? And when we do 70%, that means you had to take a typical class. Because there's some of you that were enrolled in, let's say, an English IR class or an algebra IR class. If you saw that IR behind it, that takes the place of grad point. You don't have to do grad point. Because it's similar to taking a class. So, juniors, a lot of you juniors probably weren't put into an IR class. Seniors, we tried to put some in. Okay? So, make sure that you know to start grad point. And when you get to grad point, the website we gave you, it's going to be your last name and first initial, and it's going to start 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you're going to create your own password. I do not have your passwords. So if you come up and go, hey, Scanlon, what's my password? I'll be like, hey, you, I have no clue. Okay? So make sure you write it down. If not, then we will get with Miss Liner. If there's a time that you're working on grad point and you're stuck and you're not allowed to go forward, email me and Miss Liner, and we'll make sure that we open it up for you. Okay? Because we want to get 70% done. That's a compliance thing. I think we can do that. I think most of you are going to go into ISTEP and kind of go, I know how important it is. We do not bring people to the auditorium if it's not important. And like I said before, this is probably the most important test you take. No pressure. You guys can do it. Okay? You've been put into classes and you can do it, but now we need to do it. But if not, we've got some nets for you. Okay? This one we will go through individually with the counseling and administration about graduation pathways. This is a relatively new thing from the Department of Education. Okay? And when you do this, if we do this, we can't put you into it. You will opt into it. But we'll talk with your parents and you, and we'll make a proper decision, and we'll take care of business. Okay? There's 3 parts that we need to get done with. The high school diploma. So any high school diploma, general ed, core 40, technical honors, advanced honors, all these different diplomas will work for the one. The two, so you have to satisfy all three things to be able to get in the pathways. And the pathways is not a waiver. It's not like, okay, we have a waiver process and we have a pathways process. We can see it about branching out like two different trees. Okay? So you get the general, you get core 40, you get core 40 with academic honors, you get core 40 with technical honors. All of you guys are on page for that. I can almost guarantee you that with the conversation. Okay? The second one is learn and demonstrate employability skills. And this one is one that you guys might not even, there's so many different ways we can be proficient in this. Okay? We can use course capstones. So if you're in a capstone class and you happen not to pass ISTEP, that's fine. You can satisfy it by service-based learning, which is co-curricular or extracurricular activity, or if you play a sport for a year, you can check that off. Okay? Or work-based learning. So if you're in an internship, or employment outside the school day. So I know some of you guys are employed outside the school day. Probably more than I know. That could be, it's one of those three things. Doesn't have to be all three. It's one of those three. But we're still not, this is one of these things that we're going to go after the test, and we're going to go person to person with our counselors and our administrators so we know what's best. And then our post-secondary competencies. Okay? If you were on honors diploma, technical honors diploma, you are in great shape for this one. You can check it off. If you take the ACT, and if you look at it, it's this or this. So it's kind of English or math and science, I think. So it's 18 in English or 22 in reading, or 22 in math and 23 in science. Okay? SAT, 480 and 530. ASVAB, and we might be looking at bringing ASVAB to the building and getting this tested. Okay? Not going to make any, I'm not saying it's a definite thing, but we've had communications with this. Okay? AP dual credit. If you get a C- in at least 3 courses, but they have to be core courses. They have to be English, math, social studies, or science. That could check it off. You need 1 check on each one of these. So that's why we gave you these PowerPoint presentations, so you can have this. You know what? We'll be great. You guys will be great. We're going to test English after Thanksgiving. By next week, we will have posters. Do me a favor, because you guys are more digital than me. When you get the posters, take a picture of it so you know where to report to the first day, first period. Please. That would never happen to me, because we're not going to send, we used to send all those paper things and everybody lose them. We're going to put posters out, take a picture of it. And during that week when we put math out, take a picture of it so you know where to show up. Okay? If there are questions, come find me at lunch. Okay? I don't want to be hiding from you guys, but I know that getting to class right now is pretty important, and you've heard this voice way too long right now. So what I like, yep, I get that, yeah. Everybody, get back to class. Have a great day.